Indeed, he will go for improvement, self-improvement, not just outside the game, but also inside the game, as he said at the start of the interview. And I mean, OpTic needs some improvements because they do need to get themselves on the board. They are in such a scary predicament at the moment with EG not being in the top 8 and qualifiers. You know, they're very scary. And if you're going to have to go up against EG in the qualifiers for NA region, it's going to be a tough one. So they need to step it up, and this is the right tournament for them to do so, I think, Winter.
Yeah, if they don't step up, I foresee roster changes maybe coming on a team like them, because they don't really have enough points to have a valid argument that, oh, we want to keep this roster for TI. For them, it's all about getting to TI. Yeah. So I can see them maybe making some adjustments if they don't do well here.
Yeah, they're going up against Kinguin Nahas. Kinguin also in a tough spot. They are also going for TI, obviously, eventually. They're not having the points, though.
No, and I think this is a team that is... The Tier 2 EU region this year has been very, very tough. You've seen a lot of teams that have gotten hot. I mean, OG obviously was not a team at the beginning of the season that we expected to see having to play qualifiers, and they've taken a lot of the invite slots in these EU qualifiers, but also teams like the Final Tribe, teams like Penta at various points. The EU scene has gotten a lot deeper, and so this Kinguin team, they've been together for a while, all Polish squad, they're very talented, but it's been really hard to get out of this region this particular season.
It is actually going to be Panzer's 1-year anniversary with the team tomorrow.
Anyways.
Anniversary, yeah, he's been like exactly 1 year tomorrow, 13th of April. Because the rest of the team, well, mostly everybody apart from Kasor, has been there since 2014. Yeah. Although under a different name, of course, under Let's Do It, but nonetheless. With the same squad, they've stuck together thick and thin, and they're here. And they're doing quite good. And this is the qualifier, obviously. That's why you see them win all their games here against Mad Lads and Alliance. They look good during the qualifiers. They make it to multiple events. They just gotta. I feel like they gotta find their own style.
They do. It's hard, though, because we talked about this at ESL1 Katowice, which was the first big LAN that they made. And when you're a young team and you've got a very distinctive style that you go to over and over again, like Kinguin plays this 4-protect-1, where Nisha, mostly plays mid, but he is their carry. He gets most of the farm as the game goes on, whereas Exotic Gear is much more of a tempo kind of a player. But the big thing that happens when you're a young team, you play one way and you get wins over teams in your region and you perfect that style. But when you get to LANs, these other teams, they take that away from you and you're forced to make adjustments. And we saw at Katowice, they had some unforced errors in the draft, last picking Zeus into a life stealer. I feel like if Kinguin can get through the drafts, this is a very winnable series for them, but that's a very tall ask.
Well, we are going to head into that draft, so we'll soon see if they can get through it. They're drafting against PPD. Obviously, TI champions, not going to be easy for them for sure. But it's all about improvement and adjustment, and it is a best of 3, so they have all the opportunities to do so here. And as pointed out earlier, Winter, you mentioned that OpTic, they're kind of not in the form that a lot of people are expecting them to be. So this could be, and we mentioned, PPD said earlier that Kinguin was one of the scarier teams to go up against, and that is their first opponent.
Come on, like, I mean, we say that OpTic, okay, viewing the season as a whole, they've been a little disappointing, sure, but I mean, they're coming out of a tournament where, they had 2 wins over Newbie, they beat Liquid, LGD, VG, and TNC.
I'm not saying
and they run into Mineski, get a little unlucky in their first round of the playoff run. This is a team that I think looks really good.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm mostly saying that they haven't found their stride yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. I would say they have a lot of potential between those 5 players, very, very high-skilled players, but finding the right balance for them, it's more of the important thing. I'm sure Peter has a lot of ideas on how to draft and how to play the game, but it's about, like, how does he use his players better? Like, I think that is the key thing.
Player management.
Yeah, player management, and how does the team function at a more optimal level. Whereas for a team like Kinguin, it's more like what Nahas mentioned earlier. They need to branch out from their original play style. They have to adapt to their opponents, because you can't just like keep playing your own style unless you're like VP, because you're so good that you don't fucking care. You just play Dota and you beat everybody. For them, it's more like gaining the experience, when they come to these lands, when they play against the bigger teams, understanding how to adjust, what's important in the draft for their team, not just looking at, what opponents is, what everyone else is picking, so you just pick for the sake of adjusting. You still have to understand what's suitable for your team. So I think experience, as they get more of that, they're going to be able to grow into a stronger team.
Yeah, and it's important at these lands because it gives you sort of feedback on what to practice. But I wanted to finish off as the draft begins here. We talked about Zai having played 30 different heroes in the last couple of patches since 708. Over that same span, Kinguin has played 61 games. Katsor has played 8 heroes. 8. He has played either Rubik or Elder Titan in 36 out of their last 61 games. That's a concern to me as the draft goes on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a concern, but at the end of the day, if you play 10 heroes or if you play 5 heroes, all that matters is if you're winning. If you're winning, then yeah, it works for you. It's fine. But I definitely
TI3.
Yeah, but I definitely agree. Having more options is definitely going to help winning.
Yeah, I think it's just gotten over time as there are more good teams out there and the level of information and preparation has gone up with coaches allowed on stage, for example, that it's become harder and harder to get by with these sort of just big enough hero pools.
But no one has a coach here, right? These two teams have no coaches.
That's true. That's correct.
So it's a fair fight, 5 versus 5. No extra, man.
And OpTic, notice this. OpTic is going to take away the Rubik from Kinguin, and Kinguin themselves have banned the Sand King, so you wonder if they feel the pressure to take that Elder Titan somewhere early in the draft.
So they banned Prophet, Tiny, Bounty Hunter. Prophet and Tiny, obviously, those are the two really, really good heroes in the meta right now. And for Kinguin, they remove the Visage. Veno is also I think Veno is really strong, but not every team plays it right now. I think the hero has a lot of potential, and you can build Helm of Dominator. We saw at DAC how important it is for your team to have someone that can actually build the item, because he just does so much for the team. They go for the Dragon Knight, which is also like a really strong hero in the meta. You can really go any lane.
Yep. Also takes it away from OpTic, who've run, and there's the Elder Titan pick, as I thought. That's something they just feel a lot of pressure to pick up that Katsor hero early on. Dragon Knight is one of the first heroes that CCNC looked really comfortable to me playing in the side lanes on. That he's very self-sufficient, can, as we've seen EG run Fear on that hero, can come back into the game after a rough start.
Yeah, and a very useful hero in general, even though you might not have a very high net worth, but he's still going to do his thing in the game. Seeing OpTic, okay, so they're going to go for this Razor, Rubik Razor, so the lane is going to be really good. Rubik and Razor on the same lane. It's usually off-laner's nightmare, you don't really want to go there. And it's like a flexi pick. Razor can go mid, you can go off-lane with Razor, you can go carry. Both teams having like I would say like a very mirrored opening. A support and a flexi pick. That's what you see teams going for a lot.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting though, because Razor's not been among the most picked heroes for OpTic over the last several patches, as we've been talking about, as they've made this switch from putting Pycat onto these more scaling farm-dependent heroes. Right? Yeah. Terrorblade is like the hero he's played most, 10-4. But Razor has not been as much on their radar.
I would say it's a DK replacement, because you mentioned how much they want the DK. Like during DAC, I noticed that. So it could probably be that. It could be just the hero to tank the gang, the hero that holds the game for Pycat. So we'll just have to see. So they ban out the Lifestealer, they ban out the Dark. Oh, there's still Dark
Willow ban is good. And the Lone Druid ban is also very, very targeted at Kinguin. That's the most played hero for Exotic.
They really like the Lone Druid.
Yep.
But that's rather strange though. Like I would think that Razor is a pretty good hero against Lone Druid, but like you said, they're just more worried about the comfort picks of their opponents right there. Both teams with the opening that can go a lot of ways. For Kinguin, when you have Elder Titan, you generally want heroes that can reliably start the fights, because ET is more like a follow-up hero. And the other thing that you want with Elder Titan is magic damage, so you can utilize the aura. Dragon Knight doesn't really utilize the aura that well right now, but it's a good frontline, because when you play ET, you want a hero that can frontline, you want a hero that can stun, so you can follow up, and you want a hero that can do magic. Those are the things that you need as ET. So we'll see what's the magic hero that they're gonna choose to go for.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talked about the flexibility too, because I agree that DK and Elder Titan on paper for a lot of teams those are 2 flex picks, right? Not so for Kinguin though. There's not. That's one of the problems that I've pinpointed with them is that there's not much overlap in hero pools between their cores or between their supports. Right? When they pick the DK, it's generally going to be exotic deer on that hero. When they pick the Elder Titan, it's pretty much always going to be Katsar on that hero.
I mean, Elder Titan, I guess I can make the argument that you probably just want to go support with ET. You don't really want to move ET. I mean, some teams have run ET off lane, but that's
some teams have run it at 5 as well, and it's not ideal. But I think if you see that, particularly in the second phase of the draft as we're entering here, if you see that potential for a really favorable support matchup that gives you a really strong lane, it's nice to be able to move ET to the 5.
Yeah, I guess that depends on the partner as well, like what kind of hero that you partner. If the other hero, say like, let's say if you have Rubik and ET on the same team, then Rubik does more with the gold, then you probably want to move the ET to a 5. With the Disruptor, probably the ET will be the rich support, because Disruptor is okay with playing the 5 with less items.
For sure, and that's Lusash's most played hero, 8 and 4 with the Disruptor.
Yeah, he strikes me as the kind of guy like he plays the simple heroes like Disruptor, the A, the Bane. Then he like talks a lot throughout the game, making sure that his teammates are kept in check. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing I was going to say. A lot of the shot callers do, right? I mean Disruptor, you know.
Puppy is the one that has probably one of the shot callers that has the highest amount of heroes played. Like he's really Kuro as well. Yeah.
110 career heroes.
But he's
Kuro
also
is not
played
fair.
Yeah,
Kuro is
true,
not
that's
fair.
true.
He plays, yeah. But OpTic, let's go for like, the Tusk has been left for such a long time. He's been a hero that during DAC was extremely popular.
Yeah.
I was secretly hoping for a Pango, not gonna lie.
You might still see a Pango. Pango and Tusk works really well together. But it has to be like a 33 Pango if they do it.
Yeah, exactly.
As
No, I was hoping for a Zide Pango.
And this is
Fun
one of
to
the PL, one of the sort of signature niche heroes.
It's time for Underlord, I guess. GG.
We have not seen Underlord banned or picked in the first series.
How?
Yeah, after DAC, how do you not? I mean,
How
Underlord
there
has
is
looked
not-
so
It's like
strong.
ignored.
They have Rubik on their team, and they are against the illusion-based hero like PL. Underlord does really well against PL, and Underlord lanes. If you get the Underlord against DK matchup, it's a really good free lane for Underlord to farm a lot. Like the hero is just like really good.
There it is.
Yeah, his Firestorm is one of the most damaging skills in the game right now.
Yeah, and you have a
It's like-
and you have a Rubik on your team now. Great.
Yeah, if you look at how Ice was playing this hero, like over 95% of his damage was coming from the Firestorm. He was using that so efficiently.
This is looking fairly scary for Kinguin at this point.
It's very close to Etagege. Not just kidding. Like, it's gonna be a really like hard game for them, but they do have like the ET and like ET Aura, but ET Aura they don't have like a high like the PL. I don't know, the PL is like a bit weird, right? Like when I think about the PL pick with their lineup, PL doesn't really, because they picked it at the 4th phase when they saw 3 heroes, Rubik, Tusk, and Razor. When I see the PL pick, it's more like, PL is really good against these 2 supports. Rubik and Tusk can't really kill the PL, so we are picking PL. It's like the lack of like
Traditional hard disables? Or?
yeah, lack of traditional like disables, but it's like also lack of like understanding about does PL actually fit our lineup? Like PL with ET for me, I don't really per se like it that much, but they still have one pick to to abuse the magic damage that ET can buff. But I'm not a fan that if you pick ET and you have a lineup that doesn't abuse that. That's what I don't really like.
Agree. It doesn't feel like they're getting a lot out of the aura.
Yeah, you kind of like want to have like at least like a partner, a Leshrac. Even a Shadow Fiend would be great for that. So they ban out the Gyro. So Pike, I'm guessing the last hero should be Pykat's hero.
Oh, it's almost certainly Pycat, and now it is worth mentioning that
Terrible is in the pool, right?
He is in the
he
pool,
is.
but that's where you're asking yourself: is this a sufficiently favorable matchup for Terrorblade that you'd pick something like TB or Luna into an Elder Titan? That can be kind of scary.
I don't think Terrible cares that much anymore, because right now the ET has to be close to you to remove all your armor. So, I mean, generally, how often is that going to happen? I mean, unless the ET is like super rich, he has a lot of armor items, he has early solar crest, he's like really farm, he runs in, he tanks. Yeah, but it's not going to happen like so often. So I think like TB is just going to
I agree with everything you said, and I just think TB is the pick
like
there.
You look at the right side heroes, you feel like you feel really good about their lineup. And the Doom is like the Terrorblade counter that VP is sort of like popularized. They've been one of the few teams that have been using Doom against TB. You've seen a lot of answers like Doom, Arc Warden, some teams use Timber. Because like Terrorblade is like the ultimate carry, right? Everyone is not going to match well against Terrorblade, so you have to come up with some different hero.
That's already the second, 5th pick offlane Doom that we've seen today.
Yeah.
VGA Thunder did it in the opening game. I'm not confident about that pick here.
Well, I am going to ask you guys for a prediction. I will make mine first. I won't be influenced by your analytics, but I'm still going for OpTic. So there's that.
Everything is pointing towards OpTic, like the draft. I don't like the PL, and I mean the Doom. I think the Doom is okay against the Terrorblade. There's a reason for the Doom, but it's more like they were trying to counterpick too much instead of trying to draft a lineup that works for them with the heroes that they have open with. So it's just hard to say.
I think even if you take the Terrorblade out of the fight, I still think they lose. The other 4 heroes lose versus the other 4.
Should be should be a fairly straightforward game for OpTic.
Well, now let's see if we're gonna get proven wrong, because that is the question here. Let's head over to Lyrical and Lacoste for that.
Thank you so much, Shiver and Lacoste. Oh my goodness gracious, we got a great one today. Kinguin, OpTic, it's happening. NA versus EU.
Yeah, it feels like PPD got rid of his mustache, but didn't get rid of his drafting skills. Yeah, it feels like a really good draft coming out from OpTic so far. I'm surprised that Underlord actually survived until the later stages of the second stage. Like during DAC, that hero was so popular,
just everywhere.
I mean, it was either banned or picked. That's how good the hero is right now.
Well, and, you know, taking a look at it, the panel was talking about the Doom as an answer to Terrorblade. That was, like, snap-picked almost immediately. It felt like they knew that that was going to be coming and that they had an answer to it. It's sort of a question of, like, are the other elements of the draft there to the point where they're going to be able to deal with these heroes? So time will tell. Tale as old as time is OpTic versus Kinguin. Is there any matchup in the laning stage that we really have to be looking out for here? Is already off to an early start. They're just running into each other in the jungle.
So yeah, Underlord, you can't leave the hero alone. You want to have him paired up with something. Tusk is my favorite hero with the Underlord because you get that Firestorm damage with the block from the Ice Shards plus the Snowball. That's a lot of damage just with only one spell. He wants to pull the wave on the bottom lane. 2 wards at the same place pretty much. They want to have the vision of those camps if they want to pull them. No one blocked so far.
Yeah. It looks like Tusk is not going to be sticking around there. Zai obviously going to back out. And it looks like, meanwhile, top lane, Doom is trying to get in a position to go for the block, but that does not look like it's going to be entirely possible. Actually going to block him off before you can even get over to the creep. So Patos a little bit late to the party there.
Yeah, that's already Scorched Earth used, so he's not going to be that strong in a lane, but Rubik and Terrorblade can't really kill you that early on. Yes, you're vulnerable because you have 0 armor as a Doom against that heavy right click from the Terrorblade. So he might try to pull the second wave.
Yeah, actually ended up getting pushed back there again. We do see the Razor versus DK matchup also. Pretty clear that this one's going to be heavily Razor favored as the game goes on at least. But do you think that we see any rotations? Because it feels like neither of these heroes are really that susceptible to getting ganked.
Yeah, I mean, the Razor doesn't have too much space to work on mid because the towers are closer to each other, and I think Dragon Knight will get Boots of Speed as the first item so he can actually run away and break the Static Link. Also, Static Link got a little bit nerfed in the previous patch. We see a Doom getting the XP on that top lane between Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower. PPD just trying to deny, there he goes.
Well, and again, bottom lane, the tri-lane there, going to continue on, but we'll see how that works out. We haven't been seeing a ton of defensive tri-lanes that often, and against this lineup, they're going to be definitely looking for some kills, but it's not easy. Underlord, big tanky guy.
Yeah, you want to pressure the Underlord early on. You don't want to give him the advantage, especially against the melee hero. So you always want to try lane against them, if possible. Try to get a couple of kills. Zai, in problem, has that Fairy Fire.
Yeah, they actually stay alive there and going to be able to salve up. 3-3 lives through that entire gank, and well, Kinguin end up just burning through a lot of their mana, and going to actually have to pop the mango there to keep up the aggression that they want to maintain. So PPD able to zone back Patos. It looks like he's going to again go for that little pull here and gets the push back in. The creeps are going to chase. There is a small camp there as well. But the constant battle that's going on for these creeps.
Oh, Zai is in problem. He's going to need to use the Ice Shards. One more hit.
Can he ran at there? CCNC moving in. They're not going to be able to find him. Fairy Fire, easy peasy. Block off the ET as well. And well, from there, just going to mosey his way out of the mid lane.
Yeah, so far, Doom doing a good job pulling the creep wave. Again, he has, Ensnare and Raise Dead. I don't think that's the best creep you can get. He wants to have something else. Yeah, Hellbear Smasher will do just fine. I mean, ideally, you would want to get that region creep. He actually stacked the creep camp as well.
Nifty, nifty. Gonna go for a stomp there. 3-3, able to dodge away from it. They throw it out in the kinetic field as well. Firestorm to try and spread out that damage a little bit, but 3-3 is gonna go down. First blood to the PL as Kinguin finally able to find something.
Yeah, I mean, Tusk is still level 1. They're doing a good job on Kinguin, just pressuring that Underlord. You wanna keep him as low as possible. Underlord, on the other hand, can get back into the game easily, but then you don't have the timings that you want.
Right.
Oh. Actually, CCNC getting really low.
Yeah. Patos now is also going to be able to pressure Pycat a little bit more with that Infernal Blade going, but Pycat currently is sitting top of the CS by a pretty large margin. 24-6 in comparison to the 17-4 on the PL. He's having a nice little time for himself on this Terrorblade.
Yeah, I mean, he's being left alone, so he's gonna get harassed a lot. Every time he gets close, he needs to be careful about that Infernal Blade plus a Thunderclap, and if he has enough mana with that Mango, he might actually score a kill on Terrorblade if he's left completely alone.
Well, that PPD rotation out bottom, they're able to force back the ET. He's running away from him, and they're trying to secure themselves a little bit of a better time down bottom there, it looks like. So again, after Terrorblade, nice start. They switch it up. Zai's going to pick up a DD, and let's see if they can get anything done here. There is a ward on the Radiant high ground, though, so Nisha is going to be aware of this rotation, and we'll see if Zai sticks around for a little bit longer.
Yeah, another deep ward placed from OpTic. They want to see that side camp, PPD dueling the pool. So 33 is going to get the XP that he needs.
The Exotic Deer going to take a couple punches to the face there. He actually doesn't have any points right now. He had him saved up, but he's just going to get punched down and killed.
Yeah, he has it now because the creep wave died. But yeah, I mean, he's way too deep. That's the problem when you try lane. That early on, your heroes are going to be under-leveled.
Well, all right. They end up finding a freebie there.
Oh, PPD placed a sentry. All right, nice. Nice D-ward on the mid lane. Gets him to level 3.
Maybe, again, just that recognition since they saw the Zai rotation not work out that there was a ward in the area. Stomp there to stop the aggression coming in from OpTic. But Kinguin need to find some answers down here as they're going to bring in the Rubik again and try and find themselves the ET, the Snowball. Another easy pick in there.
Yeah, I mean, Terrorblade is forced a little bit out of the lane, farming jungle, which gives Doom a lot of space on the top lane. Level 5 already, has phase boots, so once he gets to level 6, Terrorblade should be careful about getting back to the lane. He's still saving up a point on Terrorblade just in case they decide to dive on him, so he's gonna get the Sunder up. Can we call CCNC triple CN? And 33 just double 3.
Sure, man. I'm not going to call him that. That sounds wonderful. I like that. He's actually going for the 3-3-0 build as well. So I guess is that just for the laning matchup? It's sort of the way to be?
Yeah, he needs to get 3 more points in unstable current to be that triple 3.
I like that. Full block off is not quite there on Nisha. Again, just a little bit of a heads-up play. In fact, Zai.
He just got level 6 on Nisha.
All right, trying to turn it. He does have that ulti if he wants to use it, but Zai instead is just going to stick around. They're stealing away a lot of damage as well, so CCNC is going to be able to bring down the ET. Zai lives.
Yeah, that's a little bit of misplay. Like, they wanted to play aggressive, but Razor was already sucking up the damage, so you can't really go on him. And it was 3 versus 3 fight with 120 damage stolen from a Razor.
Yeah.
Doom just got level 6. Someone should probably go to a top lane and help him get a kill with that Doom.
Well, they are going to bring in the ET. Meanwhile, though, OpTic, realizing that this is going to happen, they're going to rotate in on the Doom in the top lane themselves. Snowball forward, able to catch him for the moment. The shards pulling him back in. They drop the Doom now in the sleep, but still, they find the kill. Patos drops. He is taking a lot of damage here, but we'll see if he lives.
That's NA Matt, and he can't die. I just did it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they needed to rotate either one more hero or not use the Doom. He's not gonna have it for another 2 minutes, which is pretty big deal. Once you get that level 6 on Doom, you want to get a kill most of the time on a core.
Yeah, really unfortunate set of circumstances there for Kinguin. And, you know, we saw the earlier game today as well where the Doom basically wasn't able to find anything. And PPD now going to be wrapped around upon. They do have the kinetic field, but this isn't really the kill that they want to get for rotating 3 heroes up here.
I mean, a kill is a kill. Meanwhile, Terrorblade just farms the jungle. Right now, the heroes who can farm jungle and leave the lane for supports are highly valuable.
Yeah.
Zai needs to pick up that XP on the top. They want to pressure the tower.
Good lane, a haste rune on Nisha. And he's running at CCNC. He does not have any points in Dragon Tail though, so can't actually go for a kill there without any extra help. They're going to try and pressure this tower now, pulling back in another. They're bringing in the Underlord though. So this rotation, it's a very long TP. Snowball, Firestorm as well. Pato's taking a lot of damage. The right clicks are going to be there, but the sleep is going to make sure that the Doom gets away.
Yeah, they have no damage. Underlord was having a really good time on the bottom lane against that Phantom Lancer, who's a melee hero. He gets a lot of gold from the illusions as well, so he should have maybe stayed on the bottom lane, which now Pycat needs to rotate to the bottom lane. Pycat is always pretty much on the top of CS. Look at his CS, 80. I mean, that's because he went to a jungle early on, but still, like, he's 35 more than both Razor and the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a game for himself, definitely. And that was with a lot of the time being left alone, as you mentioned. He got through those initial levels with some help, but then they're able to rotate and let PPD do some things. And he's level 9 now as well. God, he is having a very, very nice game for themselves. And now up top, the Underlord, I mean, there's 3 heroes there from Kinguin, but they can't really do anything to 3-3 here.
Yeah, they can't kill him unless... Okay, Doom is up, so they actually can kill him, but the rotation smoke coming out from OpTic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can defend the tower.
Definitely. I mean, Pycat's pushing down there solo. He's going to scan behind the tower because they're waiting and trying to figure out where the other heroes are as Disruptor is moving into lane, and they're actually going to go for the pull now onto him. They catch out this Disruptor, and he's just dead.
Yeah, meanwhile, Pycat gets that bottom tower, level 10 Terrorblade, 10 minutes in, that's pretty much perfect. Let's see who's going to buy the Tome, Rubik on side of OpTic, and you want to have a Disruptor who already used it, not level 6 though.
Kinguin now just trying to force the issue here, see if they can take a tower for themselves. A lot of OpTic is in the area. They're going to pull this ET forward. Maybe get a little bit out of position. A really nice shards there from Zai, as this ET is just dead yet again.
Wow.
OpTic are all over it.
Yeah, this is looking good for OpTic. Terrorblade on the bottom lane, pressuring the tower, siege creep also coming. They can defend top with Tusk and Underlord.
Patos wants this real bad. They're going to chase down Pycat, see if they can cut him off. But it does look like he is going to TP back. Actually, we'll get to the tier 2 tower as top lane. They find the kill onto the Disruptor again. So OpTic all over the map right now and able to dodge away from the ganks as well.
Yeah, OpTic pretty much won 3 lanes, and I saw a lot of statistics about the laning stage. It was also posted on Reddit, and Reddit is never wrong. Like, if you win 2 out of 3 lanes, like, the percentage that you're gonna win a game is around like 70, if I'm not mistaken. Like, and OpTic pretty much won all 3 lanes.
Yeah, it's a tough one for them right now. for Kinguin to try and find a way into it, but this smoke rotation could be one of the ways, as they're going to try and take down this Underlord. They have Doom available, pulling back in 3-3. He does also have Dark Rift. Gonna pop it now, and, well, ends up canceling it, so 3-3 going to be brought down and dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he canceled it on purpose, already decided that he's dead, or misclicked. Like,
No.
it could be easily misclicked.
Yeah, and I mean, on the other hand, also, he was able to get one more Firestorm out, so it hurts the creeps a little bit more before they get to the lane. So they are going to take that tier 1 tower, finally.
Yeah, the problem for Kinguin is that they don't have any vision. Like, they have one vision on the bottom lane, near the river, and that's pretty much it. Like, they need to smoke and get the vision up.
Definitely. And right now, that is looking like they're going to attempt to do that, as the wraparound is coming towards mid, but OpTic kind of reading the situation. It looks like they're going to pull CC and C out of mid and send him into the jungle.
So they are preparing to siege the mid tower. Dragon form is ready, but I don't think they can find kills. Static Storm is up on Disruptor, but he has no mana to pull off the combo.
And damn, the Rubik, they are trying to walk away from him now, but they will find the glimpse, and well, that should be a dead old Rubik, as he's going to try and turn back around with the stomp. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, this trade PPD will take any time, any day. He just revealed the smoke for heroes. Like, they're getting out-farmed. At this point, they need an item on Phantom Lancer. They need that Diffusal Blades, otherwise they lack damage. Both supports kind of under-leveled. ET not that level dependent, so I guess that's the reason why they gave Tom to Disruptor, but still no Static Storm used 14 minutes in.
Yeah, that's not what you want to have happen. Anisha wrapped around upon now. They hid out in the woods, and they're able to find this DK left all alone. No help anywhere nearby at all. So they take down Nisha and pop meta for it.
Yeah, Doom needs a mobility item, either a Blink or Shadow Blade. They don't have anything to start a fight with. Like, you don't have a reliable stun. That's the problem with Kinguin's lineup right now, especially since they are playing from behind. They also need a Blink Dagger or a Shadow Blade on Dragon Knight so they can start the fight. Otherwise, they're just gonna actually rely on what OpTic is gonna do.
Oh my god, bold as brass. Zai just walks in. They're going to pull in the ET even further and take him down as well. OpTic just running a train. And while this is all happening, the TB is pushing down bottom and takes the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, it's pretty much falling apart for Kinguin at this point. This opens up a Roche. No tier 1 tower on the mid lane. Both towers gone on the bottom lane, which means they're going to need to push it out hard, and OpTic will have enough info where the heroes are. That's the Diffusal Blade picked up on Phantom Lancer, so they should try to do something with it.
Absolutely. And it does look like, at least for now, Kinguin going to move forward. They don't have the PL with the rest of the team right now. Static Storm is finally going to be used, but it's onto an Underlord. He's still living through this. They're doing a lot of damage to him, but they're able to take down the ET on the other side. So Underlord for the ET, and now Zai also going to be controlled. So Kinguin striking back here and able to find a couple kills.
Yeah, they just needed to use the Phantom Lancer. If he doesn't have that Diffusal Blade, he doesn't just feel like a hero. What do we have? We have Terrorblade with S and Y, and there's something running. That's a full Dragon Lance as well. Like, Terrorblade is farmed AF, man.
Yeah, and OpTic end up losing another hero there. Kinguin striking back in a big way and now going to be able to secure their second tier 1 tower. You talked about Roche being the possibility for OpTic. Is PyCat really going to run into this? Reflection, the chase, they buy back on the Rubik, actually trying to chase this one down, but there's no way for them to catch. They miss on the shards.
Yeah, that's their only catch. Ice Shards and a Snowball, if they miss it, they can't start a fight. What do we have? A Blink Dagger on Dragon Knight, so that's going to help them a lot to initiate the fights. 33 with... okay, they just smoked under the ward.
Uh-oh. Let's see if they catch him there. As they're going to head into the Roche pit. And this is one of the other benefits, obviously, of this Underlord, is the ability to take Roshan at such an early stage. And Kinguin, they're kind of rushing over into that area now. With ET, they might be able to go for a stomp here to try and interrupt it. And well, they are going to be able to find the stomp now onto PyCat. They're moving in with the rest of them. Do they have Static Storm back up? They drop it down onto 2, able to connect onto him. But there's no real follow-up at all, and they just take Roche.
Yeah, Elder Titan was actually rooted with from Ancient Prowler.
Oh no, and now they take down the ET as well. So in spite of the 4-man sleep, Kinguin end up losing Roshan.
Dragon Form was not up, so they couldn't take a fight. I don't know, it just doesn't feel they have enough damage at this point. Terrorblade with S and Y build that's been pretty popular lately. Like, even if you have a couple of spells to dodge with Manta style, most of the Terrorblades will go for S and Y because of the tankiness.
Well, and you know, the panel mentioned the ET with the Terrorblade. It's sort of a problem that, like, you are able to burn through all of his armor pretty much. 25 right now, just based upon his stats and base. But the problem is, if you're an ET standing by the Terrorblade, you're probably going to be gone in half a second anyways.
I mean, you talk about Elder Titan, but he doesn't even have a single point in natural order, so he doesn't remove shit, man.
Excuse me? Oh my god. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah.
I mean, I see people go for Astral level 2 just for the damage, because it scales, just double it by 100%, the damage from the heroes.
Yeah.
But then if you don't do anything, you're gonna end up being under-leveled, and your Tome got ninja'd by Disruptor.
Oh man. Tough game right now for Kinguin, and OpTic taking full advantage of it as well, as they are going to just look to continue to keep the pressure up. Now, with this Aegis, what are they looking to try and accomplish? Exotic Deer, mid lane?
Yeah, they're gonna go for both tier 2 towers. I think that they can still make it Zai in problem.
Yeah, he does have a snowball and is going to hit there onto one as they're trying to take him down. They're going to pull in the rest of the team here in a second, as they're going to maybe be able to find this kill onto PL. Exotic Deer in trouble. Ends up going down.
Yeah, meanwhile, Terrorblade with Delusions trying to deal damage on the tier 2 tower. Yeah, this Underlord not super farmed, but still doing his job. A level 2 Aura, level 4 Pit of Malice, really good against Phantom Lancer. Is building towards Crimson Guard, which is gonna help mitigate a lot of damage against the Dragon Knight and PL Illusions.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope at least, and it seems like it's gonna work. They do have, it looks like a Lincoln Sphere is going to be that next pickup as well for Pycat. Like, that's, you know, often thought of as the big counter for Terrorblade is this Doom, but just haven't really seen it materialize at all. And
yeah, so some of the counter picks really look good on the paper, but in practice, it's just not there. That's why Dota is such a complex game.
Yeah. Well, they get the stomp there onto the Underlord, but it is not really stopping the pressure that's going to come as they rotate top lane, and this game just been easy as pie for OpTic. 8,000 net worth lead for them right now. Do they dare test for high ground?
They could. Meta still up for 45 seconds.
Oh, Patos.
Oh, Shadowblade is ready on him, but
it's about to run out.
Yeah. He needs to pick up a creep if he wants to get to a Terrorblade and Doom him. He needs a creep that can remove his Lincolns.
Now they're running forward, and Patos is just dead. He just gets...
You can't remove the Lincolns if he doesn't have it, and if you're dead, that's one-on-one knowledge right there.
I like that. It's the way to be, man. Well, OpTic, after taking down the Doom for 35 seconds, it looks like they're maybe more comfortable with it. PPD is going to get ran at by Exotic here, so they're going to lose that support.
Yeah,
but while it's coming, the ping is going for high ground.
PPD playing his own game. They still have Aegis and Meta for a couple of seconds. They're going to deal damage to the tower. Full 10-second BKB ready on Razor, but I feel like they should just go back, defend the tower. Glimpse is used.
Oh, CCNC maybe in a little bit of trouble. Zai's going to be there with the snowball, though, if they need to. He pops the BKB and just turns to fight on Anisha. He's actually starting to bring him down low. The Static Storm is there, but they end up getting the Sunder, keeping CCNC alive. Pycat, team player, and there's the Dark Rift to get everybody else out. As... Did he pull him away? Oh, the snowball. Snowball, Dark Rift.
It's not going to hit.
Oh, that's nifty.
It's still going. What? Fist bump.
Yeah, all right. Well.
Is everybody out?
Yeah, everybody's out. Zai's not even in it. The snowball is a particle effect. There's some solid Dota going on right here. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's engulfing the map. I don't know what the hell that is, but that's wonderful.
It's an empty ball.
Well, 11,000 net worth lead right now. 21 minutes into this game, and OpTic now just needing to wait for the next Roshan, basically.
Yeah, I don't think they will wait. They should just keep the pressure on Kinguin. They are really weak at the moment. Like, you have a Disruptor who's really not a hero. You have Elder Titan with level 1 natural order, and Dragon Knight not even close to his BKB. Phantom Lancer has Yasha finished. So, like, they can easily group up with the meta up and try to pressure tier 3 towers.
Absolutely. And looking like we are going to have, unless something changes drastically, like if you're Team Kinguin right now, what do you need to try and accomplish before this next push comes? Like, how do you sort of itemize to deal with this constant pressure that's going on?
They should try to be out of the base. Exotic Deer on Phantom Lancer is their key to the victory, if that is possible. Just try to split push the map as much as possible, and also Dragon Knight needs to get some items, maybe smoke where Phantom Lancer is, try to get a kill, try to go for that play.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's always that threat from Underlord ulti if you decide to go for it. Like, they have such a good way to deal with Phantom Lancer. This doesn't feel like a good Phantom Lancer game to start with.
This is a nice little pickup for them, though, is they're going to be able to get that finish onto CCNC, but now maybe in a little bit of trouble as the rest of OpTic starts to show up. They're doing a ton of damage with that reflection, and Pycat popping Metamorphosis gets one more hit that blows up the ET as well. Just barely able to get him.
Yeah, mid lane is kind of pushed. Bottom lane, they're still trying to find... Okay, that's just Doomlings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is 2 heroes dead, but they lost the Razor, and both of the heroes on Kinguin have buyback, so we'll have to see if OpTic really want to test for this. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer trying to split push. Again, he should be the one splitting the wave on the bottom lane. Wherever OpTic Gaming decides to push the lane, he should be the one cutting the wave.
Okay.
I mean, it's really hard, the Phantom Lancer game, against the Reflection, against Sunder. You have Rubik, who's great against Phantom Lancer to deal with the illusions, and Underlord.
Oh no. Are they going to find him? Not quite. Oh!
Oh, he can't get close.
Oh, they caught him sight
Gets
of him
blocked.
for a second. Yeah. Well, a little lucky there to get out of harm's way. They are slowly starting to chunk into that lead. Only 9,000 net worth lead now for OpTic. But it is still definitely OpTic that are in the driver's seat of this game. We'll see about how long now the Roche timer will be, as has the possibility to respawn. And we haven't actually seen, I think that the Underlord went for Dominator, didn't he? So
yeah.
He can send a creep into there if he wants to.
Yeah, that's the play that we saw during the AC. Pretty good one. So he has a Crimson Guard finish that's gonna help a lot with the physical damage that they have. Like, as game goes by, Underlord with Firestorm percentage-based damage against the tanky cores like Dragon Knight, like Doom, deals a ton of damage.
Right.
So if you look at the vision, like, Team Kinguin has no vision besides one ward in their own forest.
Yeah, it hasn't been that great for them so far, and that just means that the areas where they can farm across the map are just really severely limited.
Yeah, Pycat is getting out of control. 17,000 net worth, SNY, Lincoln Sphere, Dragonlance, and a full BKB. They're just going to wait for the Roche. It's going to respawn in the next minute. So they're playing safe on OpTic. They just want to force Team Kinguin to actually get out of the base. And I mean, they have a decent lineup to fight in the Roche pit with Disruptor and Elder Titan, but if they lose a fight, they are definitely going to lose the game.
Yeah, and it feels like also it's going to be another one of those timings that OpTic hits when you have Aegis, Cheese, and then also the level 20 on Terrorblade for that Reflection cooldown talent. Can just be so difficult to deal with. And as you mentioned, that BKB brought out to Mr. Pycat, farmed to all get up. And looks like they're going to see very shortly that Roche will be respawning. And Kinguin, again, trying to find some areas around the map for themselves. They might think about going for a smoke play or something, since they know that Roche could be up soon, but of course, OpTic would have pretty good recognition that that's happening because of their vision all around the map.
Yeah, so Roche is gonna spawn in 8 seconds. Kinguin know that something is up. They need to take a fight. Elder Titan and the rest of the team is
Here we go, smoke up. They find PyCat right at the start. He pops the BKB. They don't have any way to break through the Lincolns, and now they're all starting to fall apart. The ET wanting to stomp, but he gets stomped, and now also DK out of mana, out of everything. He's just dead. Oh, Kinguin, that went just about as bad as it could have.
Ideally for Kinguin would be, I don't know why Doom didn't use Shadow Blade earlier. Like you are going into the high ground and your Shadow Blade is ready, you're smoked. You want to be that frontliner that gives more vision to your team. And also the Harl Boulder is not the greatest spell you want to have, especially since Terrorblade has a BKB. So ideally it would be the Troll, so you can ensnare and even remove it through the BKB and then Doom the target.
Well, granted, he did just pick up that BKB as well, so that's maybe part of it also, is the PL
Gotta
illusions.
stay one step ahead, man.
One step ahead. They try and go for a pick-off there, but as soon as the glimpse comes out, the blink is there from the Tusk as well. And OpTic force out 2 buybacks, get a tier 3 tower, and now going to retreat while taking out the shrines.
Yeah, they're not in a rush. Now the lanes are pushed in their favor again, so every move that Kinguin tries to make, OpTic knows that something is up, and they're getting out-farmed. 12k gold lead, 28 minutes in. Feeling really good for OpTic at the moment.
Yeah, and the Terrorblade can just keep that illusion on the shrine the entire time and start to slowly whittle away at it as we are getting rapidly closer. I mean, can they just walk into Roche themselves, or you think that they want to wait for the Metamorphosis back up?
I'm not sure they have enough damage. Plus, there's the Centaur Conqueror. Okay, he actually went outside. All right, he knows something is up.
Yeah, they saw it. They saw the DK hit the Centaur as well, so they know that Roche is starting to be taken down, but...
That's double damage Terrorblade, level 19, good ward on him. If they can't get a hands on that initiation, yep.
40 seconds still before Metamorphosis is back up. Exotic Deer and the rest of Kinguin maybe trying to take advantage of this moment. They're going to go forward for it, but the Snowball's safe, able to keep him alive for the moment. And now the Static Storm turn around upon Rubik. They steal away the Ensnare. PyCat jumps into everybody. Even without Metamorphosis, he is just tearing them asunder. And Nisha getting completely whittled away there as well. OpTic end up losing Zai, but everybody else standing tall. And well, PPD also ran at PyCat looking for the chase. They're starting to burn through the illusions. And they do isolate and take down the real PL as well.
I mean, that's a Terrorblade with double damage. He can even fight in the melee form because of the move speed that he has. He has 500 move speed, so he can easily take down these both supports that have no escape mechanism whatsoever. Also, another missed combo from a Disruptor. Like, this game is looking pretty over for Kinguin.
Oh, and gonna Dark Rift immediately in, a little bit early there actually, and ends up canceling the Dark Rift. Don't worry, nobody saw it happen.
Yeah, EU math right there. So NA fans can be happy about it.
Oh, definitely. Well, nonetheless, 16,000 net worth lead now, and PyCat, he is gonna have no more Metamorphosis as this one starts to wear off, but nonetheless, it is feeling like not really that important considering the net worth lead and situation they're in. PL back up in 15 seconds. Maybe a possibility there to do something, but they do have that level 20 on PyCat as well.
And this is just a slow death by OG. Like,
they burn through the Lincoln Sphere there as Kinguin just gonna have
scary.
to accept that.
Ooh.
Gotta find some positives, man.
Yeah, gotta stay positive, but when it's time to call it, it's time to call it. I would love to just call this game if I were at Kinguin Station right now. I would just call the game and go for the next one. Like, just for the mentality. It's not about premature GG. It's like, you want to stay calm. But that's it. Like, you don't want to get dumpster for the next 3 more fights. Just feeling completely useless. Maybe you're gonna get a kill on PPD, maybe you're gonna get a kill on Zai, but that's pretty much it.
You want to stay cool, calm, and collected? Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm with you, man. Well, we do have, again, the constant farming that's going out there. Aegis still in hand as well. Who was it that picked up the cheese? Got it on the Razor.
It's Razor, yeah.
So he should be fine as well. And he has the BKB Shiva's guard done also.
Yeah, so these Phantom Illusions, Phantom Lancer Illusions just melt pretty much. Dragonite forced to go for a force stab. That's actually forced stab because none of his supports have any items, and it's the best item you can get against Razor and the Tusk, and also you can pop the Lincolns on Terrorblade.
Now the stomp misses there on the Pycat, who takes down the tier 3 tower. Now looking for an opening here. Patos can go for the Doom on the Pycat, but the question is, do they have the damage to burn through it after the fact? Static Storm a little bit off the mark. They're not fully able to take him in. They don't hit onto the Snowball either. Pycat gets the Sunder off. The turnaround is there. The Doom most likely to fall as the chase is continuing. And actually in the backline, Exotic Gear able to find the Rubik, but they're only starting to tear through a little bit of his damage. In fact, they don't even get that kill. They take down the PL. He's forced to buy back. They have a Doom now onto the Razor, but he's still just running at people, and it finally wears off. Nisha not really able to do all that much here either. They get the disarm onto TB, but there's the Snowball. Again, pulling him outside of harm's way. They take down Nisha. They take the game. OpTic looking solid in this one.
Yeah, double G's dropped with the caps lock on. I mean, they could have called this game 5 minutes earlier, and I mean, it's just... At one point, the game was pretty much over. Not a good draft from Team Kinguin, I would say. It's not a Phantom Lancer game. Also, what Winter talked during the panel, like you have no magical damage to combine it with the Elder Titan, especially because he doesn't even have 1 point in aura. So that's really, maybe that's the actually next level play. Like we don't have a magic damage lineup, so we're just gonna skip it. Just kidding. They lost all 3 lanes. Pretty hard to recover from that.
Yeah, I think definitely just didn't end up going the way that they wanted it to. And maybe, again, needing to come up with a different answer in the drafting phase. But I guess also, it's what the panel was talking about. If you have like a draft that's so heavily, or rather a team that's so heavily used to playing one particular style and then that gets countered, I mean, OpTic looked incredibly comfortable that game. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where you go with changes. Was there anything that really stood out to you in particular? Like, do you just not take the ET, or do you? I don't know.
I mean, ET is fine as a pick. Patos was having a good time on the top lane, but couldn't find any openings. Like with the first Doom, you want to get that kill, especially on a Terrorblade. The Pycat ended up with 0. That's that game.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our first game of the second series of the day. We've got more coming up in just a little bit, so stay tuned. But first, back to the panel. Hear what they thought about that game.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lyrical. It was a quick one. It was a one-sided one. And, I mean, we hoped that perhaps Kinguin could prove us wrong, but it just seemed like they weren't in the right position to do so. And we're going to start at the beginning. The lanes, Nahaz. Anything to add? Because, I mean, you can just flat out say they lost the lanes.
Oh, yeah, they lost. I mean, look, you since 709, so approximately the last 2 months.
Yes.
Safe lane tri lanes have been run in only 77 pro matches, so less than 10% of games, and the teams that run them are 31 and 47 in those games. It's not done a lot, and you can see that there's a reason for it, particularly when the hero that you're doing it around, the PL, unless Elder Titan is standing right next to Terrorblade, and you stand right next to a meta Terrorblade and you're probably dead, there's just nothing that PL is going to do against the higher armor of that TB.
Anything to add to that, Winter?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like a mistake for them to have 3 heroes bot.
Yeah.
They felt like because it was a Tusk Elder Titan, Tusk plus Underlord, they couldn't fight PL with the PL and Disruptor. But if they use 3 people bottom, maybe they kill once or twice, but the 2 heroes should be able to hold against the 3. And what they should be doing is send the Elder Titan top with the Doom and just play it out and see whose carry has a harder time. They can't afford to let the TB have a free game.
I mean, the TB had a free game, the Underlord had a free game. I really liked the Tusk Ruby coming out from OpTic, by the way. They were very active with it, not just in that bottom lane, of course, but they were basically on every lane, making sure that every lane went their way, and it worked out.
They want the lanes, that's why it's easy for the supports to like move around, like especially Doom. Doom is like an off lane that you don't want to leave him alone. If you see like how VP runs the Doom, he always gets help from the supports, maybe for a minute, 2 minutes. They're around making sure that he gets levels, gets his phase boost, so he bullies the carry. That's the kind of thing that you want to do. But if you don't do it, it means that the opponent's supports are going to be, less likely to stay in the lane because they don't really need to help the carry, so they help the other lane. So indirectly, you're like making it hard for the other lanes by having 3 people in bot lane.
And it didn't help that he got a little bit out of position just as the game started. And had to pop that aura right away before the laning phase even really began, and so he's already down in that lane and no support rotations to help. It just spiraled out of control. I really thought the last 2 picks in the draft, the PL and the Doom, were where Kinguin kind of went off the rails. I think that the first 3 picks were fine against what OpTic had, but the minute Winner reacted during the draft to that PL pick, and I think that was really on point.
A question mark for Kinguin, definitely.
You can just really see here. I mean, this has been the book on tri-lanes for at least like the last 5 years, is that when you run that defensive tri-lane, you have to be able to threaten kills on the offlaner. And you were seeing how much emphasis they were putting on pushing back 33. And meanwhile, Pycat's up top like, hey guys, I'm just going to farm. I'm just going to go in the jungle.
He was very fat. And then, there's chance for Kinguin. Maybe, you didn't win the lanes, but maybe you can have a chance of pushing, grouping up as 5 and going for it. Maybe get the Roshan off the back of it.
The reason why they have a chance is because OpTic kind of slipped up a little bit after the laning phase. I think if you are playing against a much better team, not to say OpTic is by any means a weak team, but they made mistakes in a commanding position, and if in this kind of meta where you give away kills as a cause, you give away a lot of gold to the opponent's team. So if they would have played like a cleaner game, I can't see how Kinguin is going to be able to have a decent shot at this game, because the draft has been just really difficult for them to play.
At the same time, it's also the personality of a team. This OpTic team is not like a Liquid that they're going 100% every game. When you win all 3 lanes like this and you're in such a commanding position, it's easy to just kind of take your foot off the gas, which is what I thought we saw happening from OpTic. Yeah,
they were able to recover pretty quick though after that. So the game ended up lasting like 33 minutes, as you see here.
And that was deceptive. 22-30. Terrorblade was 15K net worth. PL had just broken 10. And at that time in the game, 25 minutes in, Zai was 0-1-15. He'd been in on 15 out of 17 OpTic team kills. Meanwhile, the Kotsor Elder Titan sitting there at 0-7-5. Just never really had an impact.
And this is the thing about picking Elder Titan. You kind of that's why he hasn't been picked that much right now, even though he wasn't nerfed a lot. He got a slight nerf, but because heroes like Tusk, the Tusk, or even the Konka that earlier we saw, those are heroes that it's easier to draft around. Like when you have an ET, you definitely want to have a hero that can abuse the magic damage. If you pick ET and you have no heroes that can abuse that, then why pick the ET? I just don't understand why.
It is what Naha said at the start. Comfort heroes. They put too much value on that.
Yeah, and it's weird, and you get into this when you're a team with a limited hero pool and you're relatively new to the land stage. You get into this mentality where you also start counterpicking individual enemy heroes rather than worrying about the synergies in your lineup, rather than worrying about the way that your lineup is going to function together and the tempo at which they're going to play. And I think that's what you saw. You see, Winter and I were talking about this right after the draft ended. You see this Rubik and this Tusk, and you say, oh, that's great. I'm going to just pick PL. They can't kill me. But what does your PL do? He might stay alive, but he's not doing damage in these fights. As you can see here, I mean, look, he's not even the most damage on his team.
Nope. No, that right is reserved for Nisha and his Dragon Knight. He had an okay game, but it's very difficult to play when the rest of your team is so far behind.
Yeah, and you are, because you started off against a Razor mid. That's the thing.
But that's like a lane that's set up to fail regardless, sort of. And you're okay with that if the rest of your team can back you up later on. But that's just not the case.
It's just antithetical to the way that Kinguin plays. I mean, you're not... I will go so far to say is you're probably not going to see this team win a game when Nisha has that unfavorable laning matchup. That's just, they play around him. They're not playing you. That's the other surprising thing about this game that we haven't even mentioned yet, is that it was Exotic Deer on the PL. He's generally their tempo player.
Yeah, PPD MVP. This is, by the way, gents, for joining just the panel. This is an algorithm that is determining MVPs, so we get to criticize that if you want to.
Algorithms, I hate those.
Yeah, math, calculations.
Well,
what is? I want to know what is damage impact.
Hey, You're the math guy.
I should know these things, right? Okay, well, production can explain it to me. But yeah, I think that the 79% kill participation is the big one. That's what we talked about Zai, in that he was in on 15 out of the first 17 team kills. And once you get your cores online with the lineup advantage that they had, you just 5-man and go.
Yeah. Maybe it's the amount of damage that they do that is not against creeps.
Is that the null field like buffing the team damage?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about. I don't know.
You can't add hero skills to MVP. He's not going to be the MVP because it was a Rubik. He's going to be an MVP because he played well. But yeah, OpTic, they take the first game here of the series. Let's find out what's going to happen in the second game. But before that, we are going to take a short break. We'll be right back.